The Dutton legacy didn't begin with fences, cattle, or the battles over the Yellowstone ranch we know today. It began long before any of that in blood, grit, and the unforgiving wilds of the American frontier. And now, in 2026, audiences will finally witness the full origin story. The first official trailer for Yellowstone, 44, has dropped, and it's as explosive as fans hoped. Pulling back the curtain on the brutal roots of the Dutton dynasty, this highly anticipated prequel dives headfirst into the raw, unvarnished story of how one family carved an empire out of the harsh Montana landscape. Set in the wake of World War I, 44 paints a sweeping, unrelenting portrait of a nation on the edge and a family determined to survive at any cost. The year is 1944. The world is at war, but in the remote mountain valleys of Montana, another kind of conflict brews, one fought not on foreign shores, but over acres, bloodlines, and legacy. The Duttons, now in their third generation on the Yellowstone ranch, are no strangers to hardship. But as modernity creeps in and war-scarred men return home, hungry for land and revenge, the family finds itself besieged from all sides. At the helm stands James Dutton, III, flint-eyed patriarch forged in fire and duty. The grandson of the original settler, James shoulders the burden of his forefathers' blood-soaked dream, guarding the land his family has bled for across 3 generations. But the post-war world is changing fast, and not in their favor. Rival ranchers, led by the cold-blooded Cole Hardman, conspire to sever Dutton supply lines and claim the land for themselves. Meanwhile, federal marshals arrive in the region with aggressive new land reform policies that threaten to dismantle the Duttons' control and unravel decades of sacrifice. But the danger isn't only external. Within the family, fault lines crack wide open. Eli Dutton, James' younger brother, begins to question the family's methods, the violence, the secrecy, the toll of legacy. A veteran himself, Eli seeks another path, one that could mean peace or betrayal. His doubts risk shattering the very foundation of the family, raising a haunting question. What is the cost of holding on to something that was never meant to last? The trailer offers a searing glimpse of what's to come: raging wildfires, shootouts in snowy canyons, and quiet moments of despair and reflection inside a family torn between heritage and hope. With a sweeping cinematic style, Yellowstone 44 doesn't just promise a return to the Dutton universe, it offers a darker, deeper look into its very soul. Sheridan's signature blend of sprawling landscapes, raw character drama, and morally complex storytelling is fully intact. From hardened ranchers and scheming politicians to idealistic lawmen and battle-worn soldiers, the cast is packed with faces both new and familiar, each bringing their own brand of grit and gravitas. In this world, land is power, loyalty is earned in blood, and the only rule is this: protect what's yours no matter the cost. Prepare for betrayal. Prepare for war. And prepare to see how the Duttons became who they are. We break down everything you need to know from the trailer, including the full cast lineup and the all-important release date. Whether you're a longtime fan of the Yellowstone saga or new to the Dutton mythos, 44 promises to be an unforgettable Chapter 1 soaked in sweat, sorrow, and the unrelenting pursuit of legacy. Mark your calendars. The land remembers. Shadows of past sins resurface through sweeping shots of Montana's wilderness and tense, blood-soaked confrontations. The trailer promises the rawest Yellowstone story, yet frozen river shootouts, brutal hand-to-hand ranch battles, and whispered threats in crowded saloons set the stage for the Duttons' most desperate fight. A young John Dutton, Sr. appears in brief flashes, hinting at the legacy of violence being passed to the next generation. The full cast brings Taylor Sheridan's vision to life, with lead actor as the hardened James Dutton, III, actor as his conflicted brother Eli, and actor as the vicious rival Cole Hardman. Actress portrays Clara Dutton, the family's moral center in a world gone mad. Filmed across authentic Montana, Utah, and Texas locations, the prequel maintains the franchise's signature cinematic grandeur while delving deeper into the darkness than ever before. Paramount Plus plans to unleash this new chapter in 2026, continuing Sheridan's expansion of the Yellowstone universe. The trailer's final moments leave no doubt about the stakes. A grizzled James Dutton cocking his rifle as he mutters the family creed, "They won our land? Let them try to take it." The screen cuts to black with a single gunshot, signaling the brutal birth of the modern Dutton dynasty. The world of Yellowstone, 1944, undergoes seismic shifts as we look ahead to Season 2, with characters evolving in shocking ways and new threats emerging from both within and outside the family. The aftermath of Season 1's brutal conflicts leaves permanent scars on the Duttons, setting the stage for an even darker chapter in their history. James Dutton, once the unwavering protector of Yellowstone, now rules the ranch with an iron fist after surviving Hardman's assassination attempt. A gruesome axe fight leaves him missing 2 fingers, a constant physical reminder of the violence required to hold their land. His paranoia reaches new heights, straining relationships with everyone around him, including his wife Clara, who secretly negotiates with the Bureau of Land Management behind his back, fearing his escalating brutality will destroy their family. Eli Dutton, presumed dead after his betrayal and near-fatal plunge into a frozen river, makes a dramatic return, but not as the man he once was. Resurrected as a ruthless oil speculator, he aligns himself with East Coast investors, including the cunning Standard Oil heir Cyrus Pike. Together, they plot to drill on Dutton land, using Pinkerton agents to harass the ranch in a brutal campaign that mirrors the corporate warfare of the modern Yellowstone era. Eli's transformation from rebellious brother to full-fledged antagonist marks one of the season's most devastating turns. Claire Dutton, the family's moral compass in Season 1, reaches her breaking point. When James discovers her secret dealings with the government, he exiles her to a remote sanitarium run by the enigmatic sister Magdalene, a place where troublesome women vanish without a trace. But Clara refuses to be erased. Her escape sets her on a collision course with James, and she may find an unlikely ally in Marshall Hayes, forming a coalition against the Dutton Empire she once fought to preserve. Meanwhile, young John Dutton Sr. undergoes his own harrowing transformation, no longer the wide-eyed boy witnessing his family's violence. The now 16-year-old commits his first kill, a ranch hand who threatens his mother. The true beginning of the Dutton curse can be seen in his chilling reaction to the act, which foreshadows the unwavering leader he will become. Even former enemies shift allegiances in this new war. Cole Hardman, left crippled and humiliated after his defeat in Season 1, reluctantly joins forces with James against a greater threat, the U.S. government's aggressive land seizures under post-war eminent domain laws. The irony is bitter. The man who once burned Dutton barns now stands beside them as federal troops descend on Montana, using wartime tactics to dismantle the rancher's way of life. The addition of new characters fuels the fire. To outwit the Duttons, seasoned World War II veteran and federal enforcer agent Robert Graves uses reconnaissance planes and wiretaps. His task was to redistribute the land to returning soldiers and dismantle feudal ranches like Yellowstone. Then there's Cyrus Pike, the oil tycoon backing Eli's revenge, who represents the industrial forces that will eventually threaten the ranch for generations. His offer to buy Yellowstone for $10 million, followed by a veiled threat, sets the stage for a battle far beyond cattle and bullets. The season's central conflict pits land against law as the government moves to claim Yellowstone for veteran resettlement. James responds by forming a rancher militia, an early precursor to the modern livestock agents. But betrayal cuts deep when a Dutton cowhand leaks herd locations, leading to a mass slaughter of cattle by federal troops, a devastating blow that pushes the family to the brink. By the season's end, the future of Yellowstone hangs in the balance. "There's oil under this whole valley, enough to burn your legacy to ash," a government surveyor whispered, reverberates like a death knell. Yet as James stares at his grandson, baby John Dutton, his growling vow, "We don't lose," serves as a grim reminder that the Duttons will fight to the last breath. The cycle of violence continues, and the legacy of blood is far from over. The dust settles over the Montana plains as Yellowstone, 1944, reaches its climactic conclusion. The Duttons stand battered but unbroken, their legacy cemented in blood and sacrifice. James Dutton III, now a grizzled relic of the man he once was, surveys his land with hollow eyes, the price of victory etched into his scarred hands and weary soul. The government's assault has been repelled, but not without cost. New graves abound throughout the ranch, including those of men he once considered brothers. Claire, having escaped the sanitarium, returns not for reconciliation, but to deliver a final ultimatum. In a tense standoff under the whispering pines, she forces James to choose between his obsession with the land and what remains of his family. He lets her go, watching as she rides east with Marshall Hayes, the only Dutton to ever walk away. Fire marks the end of Eli's war. His oil dreams go up in flames when James and Hardman sabotage his derricks, leaving him screaming curses into the smoke. But the true gut punch comes later, a letter from Claire revealing that his teenage son, a boy he never knew existed, died in a federal raid. Another person who succumbed to the cycle of vengeance. Young John Dutton Sr., now hardened beyond his years, buries his first love, a ranch hand's daughter caught in the crossfire. As he kneels in the dirt, his father's words echo, "This is the weight of the name." The same hands that will one day instruct John Dutton II to fight and later instruct John Dutton III to rule are held by the camera on his bloodied knuckles. The screen fades up on a winter-gray Yellowstone. Years of war have left the ranch standing, but not unscarred. James Dutton III walks the fence line alone, his breath fogging in the cold air. The missing fingers on his right hand twitch toward his holster, out of habit, a habit earned through blood. The land is quiet now. Too silent. Inside the main house, Claire's absence lingers like a ghost. On the shelf in the kitchen, her favorite coffee cup is untouched and gathering dust. James hasn't moved it. Won't move it. On the porch, her rocking chair still sways when the wind blows just right, as if she might return any moment to take her seat. But the letter in James' desk drawer tells the truth. She's in Chicago now, living a life where ranch wars and blood feuds are just stories in the newspaper. The barn doors creak open to reveal young John Dutton Sr., now a hardened young man, sharpening his skinny knife. The blade catches the light and flashes across the wall's brand, which will be used to identify livestock in the future. Once filled with boyish wonder, his eyes now hold the cold calculation of a man who has discovered the most difficult truths about what it takes to keep what is his. In the valley, Eli's oil derricks are still standing like skeletal guardians. Remorse and petroleum continue to permeate the ground. After the explosion, no marker shows where they buried James' brother's remains, just another Dutton secret sinking into the Montana soil. James sits at his desk at night, the same desk his grandfather built generations earlier. The numbers on the ranch ledger tell the story of surviving against all odds as his gnarled hands smooth it over. The same sounds that greeted the first Dutton are carried outside by the wind, including the lowing of cattle and the distant howl of wolves. The same sounds that will greet the last. The Dutton legacy lives on. So does this channel. If you want to be the first to know when Yellowstone 1944 drops, plus all the breaking news, cast updates, and exclusive theories, smash that subscribe button. Don't miss a single update. Hit the bell icon to get notified the second we post new content. Comment below, who's your favorite Yellowstone character of all time? Could they survive 1944? This is only the beginning. The ranch wars haven't ended yet. Neither have we. Stay tuned. Stay loyal. And keep your iron close. For more updates, behind-the-scenes scoops, and exclusive content, be sure to subscribe to our channel on Nextdoor. Don't miss a single moment of the drama coming in Yellowstone 44.